who has a child with Dr. Malachi York. She became the star witness to corroborate all of the lies in this bogus indictment against Dr. York.
Everybody started venting in the car about different things that we didn't like. It had nothing to do with child molestation, had nothing to do with any criminal acts. It was just different things that, you know, normal things that you don't like about growing up, or you know, we might have had an argument with Malachi here and there, and we brought up the situation. Jacob kind of fed off of that anger, and he convinced all of us that we should take that anger and we should go to the government with a story about his father.
And I implore everybody to go to he'sinnocent.com and look at the indictment, look at Habiba's involvement, things like that. And then the bombshell happens where the most powerful weapon the prosecution had recants her statement.
In terms of money structuring, which is one of the main counts against York, Habiba Washington testified repetitively. She was never given any instructions to structure money as the chief financer from York or anyone in the Nuwaubian community.
I told them about life in the community, growing up, why we left. I was questioned about the money charges, the money situation, because I did deal with the financial situation. I told them how we ran our finances. I ran off, you know, different people that I knew that was there, different people that I knew that had left, and why they left.
You know, several times. She diligently and adamantly wanted to state to the world that everything I said during the trial against Dr. Malachi York was a lie.
The whole trial against Malachi was it was on personal anger reasons. We all had our own issues, why we were angry with him. And Jacob told us that we can come up with a story, we could eventually file for a class action lawsuit, we can all sue him for millions of dollars and get money from it. We can even go to making movies, we can even go to making books and stuff like that. So everybody fed off of that idea.
She laid out the conspiracy from beginning to end. How it was conceived by the son of Dr. York, known as Jacob York, or Yaqub Abdullah Muhammad by some who grew up with her. But, you know, to the layman, as Jacob York, the big guy in entertainment in Atlanta right now. Laid it out, made her study the Watergate Jew, made her study Jim Jones, made certain other of the alleged victims who we know are liars study these things so they can profile the Nuwaubians the same way they profile other extremist cults, so they can line it up. She lays the whole conspiracy out.
Prior to Jacob telling us about the civil suit, he showed us video documentary on Charles Manson, on the Watergate Jew, different leaders that kind of ran cults. And Jacob showed us this documentary. He showed it to me, he showed it to Nicole. He basically showed it to everybody that left the community, the girls. And he wanted us to look at this documentary and compare it to his father, the way that we lived. The fact that, yes, we did live with the children, the parents with the parents, the brothers together, the mothers together. He wanted us to compare everything that they've been through with us so that we could start believing, we could put in our minds that, no, we didn't live a normal life. Yes, we were a cult.
And then in conclusion states, everything that was stated on that stand was a lie. And if anybody knows how you recant in the proper fashion, as far as the attorney present, the affidavits, things like that, this young lady, she officially withdrew everything she said about Dr. York. She outlined other alleged victims' involvement. She outlined the original brainchild of this thing, which was Dr. York's son, Jacob York.
A new trial hearing was held on August 13, 2004. The unimaginable took place. Defense counsel Jonathan Marks withdraws Abigail Washington's recantment and Reverend York's motion for a new trial, along with a motion of judgment for acquittal filed by Adrian Patrick. Abigail is threatened by Marks and FBI agents to recant her recantment as she is called to testify by defense counsel. York is amazed as she recants crying on the stand. Reverend York files a motion to withdraw Jonathan Marks as an attorney due to ineffective assistance of counsel. The 476-acre property was sold for $1.1 million to a local Milledgeville developer, who later resold the property as stated by the Sheriff's Department for restitution that none of the alleged victims received.
I would love and challenge Max Woods, Moultrie, Jelaine Ward, Stephanie Docker, Sheriff Seals. You get on that end of the table, and I'll stand on this end of the table, and let's present our facts as to whether Dr. York is innocent or guilty. Pay-per-view. All proceeds go to the winner.
Anything I've been through since then was worth the time I spent on the land and the time we're going to spend together again with Dr. York when the community comes back together. It's nothing like it in the world. For Nubian people, there's no place like Tamaray in the world. There's no organization like this in the world.
Dr. Malachi York is innocent, and Dr. Malachi York needs to be freed now. That's what I have to say. You know, and for the world, and for those who's watching, I hope this never happened to you. Because then you'll see. You know what I'm saying? You'll see how they do us. He's innocent. And I'll never stand for anything else except his innocence. Because I know better. That's what I have to say.
In the face of adversity and scrutiny, Dr. Reverend Malachi Z. York and the Nuwaubian community continues to carry on in the fight to proclaim his innocence. Many so-called experts believe that their way of life would dwindle, erasing its culture away as just some fad. However, the Nuwaubian community continues with public functions, fundraisers, and local community works. Reverend York is everything but a serial pedophile, which is still yet to be fairly contested in a court of law or public opinion. Disputing his character may be easy for some, but to dispute his efforts is inevitable. Raising the conscious level of people of color in the Western world and abroad to a new way of thinking is inevitable in a span of 40 years. Doing for self and kind, living for and by one another creates an inferiority complex amongst the majority rule in the Western world. The adversities against liberation may slow down the group, but it will never stop change, that which is constant in the name of freedom. In 1999, Malachi York denounced his American citizenship and became a full nationalized Liberian citizen, enjoying all its rights and benefits. Since his arrest in 2002, the United States government has ignored his request to return to Liberia.